All right, we are live.
Hello,
Yay.
everybody. I am Chloe,
And I am Sandy.
and this is WordStitch.
I feel like we've got our intro down pretty well. Like that look good.
It's the outro that we just kind of throw blindly at the wall like spaghetti.
Yeah, a lot like that. Yeah. So if you're joining us for the first time, we do timed sprints. We follow a schedule. Our first one will be at 4:05. We do ramble during breaks, but like they're timed breaks. So you will for sure get in some writing time today. Chloe, what are you working on today?
So this is the end of Nano right now.
Mm-hmm.
I am still working on the same project that I've been working on the whole time, which is the third book from my Candy for Demons series. I am realizing, though, that I might actually not meet my Nano goal. I've already gotten the word count in because I only set it for 60,000, and I'm well past that now. Like 60,000 was just like the bare minimum that the book needed to be. But I don't know if I'm going to get this finished on time. There's 4 days left in the month?
It's not very many.
Yeah, and I'm working all 4 days. My next day off is actually on the 1st. So I might this might be my first nano fail in a minute.
How many words do you have left for the month?
Oh no, like I've already gotten the word count, but I wanted this book to be done. And I don't know if I'm going to make it. Like I still have a couple of like really critical scenes to put in. I'm definitely in like the end of it, but like knowing what I have left, I don't know if I'm going to make my goal or not.
Oh, I don't think I can handle that. Do you know, okay, so I've been having very weird dreams lately. I was telling Chloe I had a weird astronaut dream the other day. I also had a dream that you finished like enough of the Hazel book that you sent it to me. And it was the only good part of the dream. Like I was like, oh my God, the Hazel book is available and I can read it now.
I'm about to like crushingly disappoint you then. Because this particular book, I had an entire plot line that I didn't figure out until the middle of the book. So like I have to rewrite a substantial amount of it to get that plot line in. And like I knew that going into this. I knew I was missing an entire element of the plot and I just had no idea how I was going to do it. And I actually, in like the first time this has ever happened, I went to the Nano forums for some advice on it, and I actually got good advice. And it was somebody who was like, this might be a real dumb idea, but and it was actually like perfect for what I needed, and it got me like I was really missing pretty much all of Hazel's plot line. Like it was all Metal and no Hazel. And I actually I gave her something to do that was actually important. So that was really nice. And it was like the first victory I've ever had from the Nano site, because I feel like usually when I ask a question there, I just end up with a bunch of people getting really pedantic about something that doesn't actually touch my question and just judges me for asking that question.
That is very interesting. So we had a question. Herb asked if in May you're doing Corno Remo. And maybe we can talk about like our May projects when we get back from our first writing sprint.
Yes.
Yes. Let's do that.
So we are going to write for the next 10 minutes as a warm-up. And Sandy has given us the lovely prompt of your character has a nightmare. So I'm going to call this the nightmare sprint. And we will see you guys in 10 minutes.
Hey, did I miss the timer going off?
Oh yeah, you way missed it.
Oh, sorry, I was looking for it, but my screen froze on like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, we were having technical difficulties. Sorry, guys. Maybe we'll get rid of that. We had a couple more people join us. Thanks for coming in and participating. We appreciate friends who write with us.
Yes, very much.
I'm actually counting words today. I think I might have to count mine. Hang on a second.
Oh, good.
Yeah, like not in a terribly competitive way, but still.
But you are doing something which is trackable right now?
Yeah. So that was like 248 words. Yay.
Oh, I got 256. So you're keeping up with me at least.
You know, I actually like this scene, so that's
Yes. I just wrote my favorite moment of this entire plot.
Oh wow.
The moment in which Metal, my angel, doesn't know what to do with caramel, so he just starts drinking it.
Nice. That's
straight out of the double boiler, and then his angel brother-in-laws or his demon brother-in-laws show up.
I feel like that's fantastic. And now the fact that I had like a dream that I wanted to read the book is probably going to be like a recurring dream because
until it happens. Yes.
Yeah. So we had people get some words. Herb got 260. Some Ryan made coffee, and did you get wine too? I think maybe that's I approve. Sarah had to be a parent. That sucks, but what are you gonna do? We were gonna talk about Corno Remo, weren't we?
Yes.
Do you have a May project, Chloe?
Well, so every month for me is kind of a novel writing month, which I don't mean in the sense that I am a writer and therefore I keep writing. But again, because I do work full time, and also I do publish a lot of books. I published 6 last year. Pretty much every month I need to either have a book written or a book edited. So yes, my project for next month, I don't know. I'm still debating. Like I said, I really wanted this book to get done a little bit earlier so we could go back and do that patch on it. I don't know if that's going to happen. And I absolutely have to do that patch before I jump to anything else, just so I don't like forget what this information is. I'm not somebody who can really like take a bunch of notes and remember every single thing that I was going to do. I have to kind of write it at that time. So I definitely have to do that, but I did want to use next month to finish out 2 other projects that I have been sitting on for too long.
Yeah, I'm in a similar but far worse boat than you are. Because I also am indie publishing, right? And I'm supposed to be getting out a bunch of books, but the last like couple months have been terrible for me for various, mostly personal reasons, actually. But so I need to like catch up, and I'm gonna have to make May, like it has to be a month that I finish a huge project that I've been sitting on. Because then I need to.
Is this the sequel to Sisters?
Yeah. I mean, it has to be done. It just there's no way it can't be.
You've been sitting on it way too long. I agree.
Which is partially because that particular book, I put a lot of effort into figuring out how to publish it appropriately, right? And in the meanwhile, I had other pen names I was writing under. But I mean, now that book has to come out by like January, so I need that. I need a solid draft by the end of May, the kind that could go to beta readers. And also the third book needs to be like rough drafted by August. So, and those are like 100,000 word books. Those are not little.
Yeah, those are pampers.
Yeah. So it's not like I don't have a lot of words written on all of them. Oh, this is my dog barking at the mailman, by the way. Say hi, Anna. Hey. Yeah, we're barking today. Yeah, everybody has heard you. Okay, good. Yeah. So I put her on my lap to try to minimize the barking today. I don't know if it's gonna work. But anyways, yeah, so I gotta finish that. But then in the meanwhile, I've totally neglected my romance pen name. So I have like 2 projects that I really need to be working on. So I'm feeling like not only do I need to like do major work in May on the sequel, but probably in like May, June, I need to kind of like slowly draft the next Angel book. So that sounds a little overwhelming to me.
But the good news with the Angel books is that you're writing them fairly quickly. Like the actual
Yes, that's
time
true.
to start writing.
Yeah.
So I feel like that, I mean, I know that it's kind of like just like playing a mental trick on yourself. But if you tell yourself that it's a break from the Sisters series, what is the name of that series now? You changed it on me and now I don't remember.
Mortal Inheritance.
Thank you. Mortal Inheritance. If you treat it as a break from that to like get a reset,
Yeah.
and you know that it's going to be a month to get it done and out there, it might help to lower the stress of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, so we were going to talk about indie publishing today. And I think, I mean, this is one of the biggest challenges, right? Is like, so for me, I publish YA and romance. And romance, I mean, YA, I feel like with a big book, you really, if you're trying to do like a big flagship book, you're not going to finish that in like 6 weeks. But
No.
but for romance, you need to be like putting those things out. So I think it's hard to go in a year without like publishing at least 4 books in your romance pen name. And if you don't manage that, then your readers forget you.
Yeah, romance is heavily reliant on rapid release. Like that's just what the market is now, unless you are one of those like top names in traditional publishing where you've got a publishing house that's supporting you and is actually supporting you because publishing houses really like they limit their resources to their cash cows now. So I know a lot of people want to go traditional, and like there are definitely perks to traditional. I'm not saying there's not, but like if you think that you're going to end up with like a marketing team to sell this book for you, that's not going to happen. So like,
Yeah.
and it certainly is dependent on the genre. That's true for romance. I feel like it's also true for mystery. If you are doing any sort of like cozy mystery or even like hard-boiled or noir, you also need to rapid release on those, just because there's so much in that market and readers don't remember the author, they remember the book, and the readers digest so much of it that they don't even remember the book for all that long.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you get your money that book, then I feel like again that's where it's so important to keep publishing, because you do have that very limited shelf life for how long the reader's going to remember you. But as long as you utilize it, you'll keep those readers forever.
Yeah, yeah. Although, I mean, it does put us in a really weird space, right? Because unlike traditional publishing or even indie publishing where you can wait a long time, I mean, you have to make some sacrifices. But let's talk about that when we get back from our next
Oh, shoot, it is that time. Also, if you guys have any questions about indie publishing,
we've done a lot of research.
We've been doing it for a while and haven't found an amazing amount of success, but we're getting there. Feel free to ask. We know a lot about it, except for how to make like a crap ton of money off of it.
Right.
So that's the one thing that we can't tell you yet. We're still working that out. Okay, so we are going to go for 25 minutes. We're running a little bit behind, so we'll see you at 9 of the hour. And our prompt is overly ambitious. Did I spell that right? I did. Overly ambitious, like trying to drink an entire pot of caramel.
Okay, we are back.
Yay.
Yeah. I gotta count my words.
I think I messed something up here. I think I forgot to reset my thing.
Oh no.
Oh, I have all kinds of screwiness going on. Oh, well, messed up something. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna be just a second because I can't imagine that I got 900 words. It feels more right that I got 700 words there.
And this is a critical thing to know.
I mean, you know how I am as a person.
I got 600.
I've never been anything but honest with who I am as a person.
I'm pleased with my words. But the like 636 was good for me for even 25 minutes compared to what I've been doing in April. So while Chloe is counting, let us know how you did. We are always rooting for you to get many words or do something bookish. I do think it's really hard right now. I feel like, a lot of people have like kids at home, they're homeschooling, they're working from home, they're, doing whatever that's making it hard to focus. So if you got any words in, good for you. You guys, 195, 40 words, we'll take it. And if you're getting 315 or 396, Sarah and Ryan, that's awesome. But if all you're able to do is just get some other work done, finish something on a cover, do some advertising, set up some marketing, then good for you. Chloe, what'd you do? Did you actually get words?
71.
What?
671.
You got 971?
671.
671. All right. That's good. Good. We have a lot of people counting words today.
That's fantastic. Is everybody doing Nano, or are we just all in writing mode right now? I know that we kind of go through phases of whether you're like editing or writing or what have you, but it seems like we got a lot of people drafting today.
Yeah. I'm not doing Nano at all. I haven't, but I do feel like it's time to get started again. Weirdly for me, sometimes the camps actually have the reverse effect. I'll do the camp and then not meet a goal, and that will make me feel like I just can't get anything done. So it'll set me back for a while. But the month later, I might be able to be far more productive than I would otherwise have been. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping happens this time. But if you did, if you did Nano this time, then awesome. Hey, what's this? So Herb just brought up a challenge. I don't know anything about this. 52 stories in 52 weeks, the Bradbury challenge. What is that?
Herb, we'll give you heard of that. Sounds like short stories.
Maybe. Oh, yeah. My dog. Hang on. Chloe, your turn first. I pick up the dog.
So while she's dealing with her dog, I've got a funny story from my life with my cats. You guys have seen my cats a couple of times. My cats are indoor cats. And yesterday, 2 days ago, my roommate Ken texted me saying that he thought Akmina wanted to go outside. She was acting like she was going to start wanting to go outside, which our cats, we have a sign on the door warning people that there are cats and not to let them out. But actually our cats are terrified of outside. So it's like a running joke. We can leave our doors open and the cats never try to go outside. So Ken sends me this text. I think she wants to go outside. And I was like, no, she just wants stuff that's out there. I guarantee if you take her out there, she'll freak out. So we tried to last night. And she just she's our smaller cat. She's very tiny and weak. If we had done this with the big dumb one, it probably would have been a disaster because he has that dumb big guy strength where he just goes on a rampage. But she's very, very small and weak. So he takes her out there and she seems to be doing okay, kind of stays curled up in his arms. And then he tries to put her down, and all of a sudden the claws just dig in, and he's trying to put her on the grass. and he literally lays down on the grass to take the claws out, and she just like stays in this little pod on the grass, goes nowhere, and finally he like picks her back up and carries her back inside. And to make a short story long, that cat is never going outside.
That is funny. Hey, we have an answer to the Ray Bradbury thing. Apparently, okay, so apparently Ray Bradbury challenged new authors to write a story a week for a year because you can't write 52 bad stories in a row. That's probably true, right? Probably at least one of them has to be good. Yeah, fair enough. We were going to talk about rapid release and what that does to your writing, like how you survive that, right? So does it drive you crazy, Chloe, when you see like comments and such on forums where people are like, those rapid release people, I just don't know how any of them could possibly ever do that.
You deliberately asked me this because you know it sends me into a blind rage already.
Yeah,
okay, so here's the deal. It does. It absolutely sends me into a blind rage. But I have issues overall with people judging other people for why they write and what they write and how they write. And I find it particularly irritating when people get mad at others for having a marketing strategy and following advice to actually make a profit off of this. Like, and I always think of like the visual artists and that like starving artist perspective, or that like mindset that like you can't be a good artist if you're in it for money. And that's just, particularly in the writing world, that's just not true. I know that a lot of people do write just because they enjoy it, but also a lot of people write as an occupation. And like, you wouldn't have all of the books you appreciate if those authors didn't, it's not like a painting that like you can just buy a painting and it's the only one of that painting and somebody just did it and it's done and you paid like $50 for it or whatever. Or like, obviously you should be paying more for paintings, but you know what I'm saying. The books that we all know and love, we know them and love them because they were mass produced. The books that we know and love, like, are books, that like the population knows and loves, is the books that did really well, that those authors made a good fortune on it most of the time. Unless like it happened posthumously or whatever. So yeah, I have a real big issue with the writing community criticizing writers for doing things that are proven techniques to be successful in the industry and to make a living off of it. Especially the amount of effort that goes into writing a book. And then coming from somebody who also does a lot of other arts and crafts, I've never put as much work into a painting as I have into writing a book. I don't think I've put as I have into a book.
And you randomly dropped out there for a second, Chloe, but
but also I literally built up that entire, this is what Sandy does.
Yeah.
She gets me on a rant so that we can just like run through our clock to get to our next sprint.
Oh, I had a migraine headache. I far prefer your rants to mine. Sorry about my blog hacking up stuff, by the way. God only knows what's happening with that. Okay, so I don't have a prompt. We need a prompt.
So the prompt for this one is, prompts are for the wheel, because I cannot type a K to save my life. Here we go. So we are ready for the next 30 minutes. Again, we are a minute behind because that's just the day that we're having. So we will guy. Oh my God, I can't speak either.
We'll be back in 30.
We will see you guys at 31 past the hour. Hey, BC, we'll see you in a half hour.
Okay.
We're back.
We're back.
What'd you do?
Let's see.
I wrote 6:33 to finish the scene, and then I forgot what the next scene was going to be. So I'm kind of in a stick spot right now.
I'm at 6:23, so about as much as I did last time. But still, I'm at the end of a scene also, and I'm feeling really good about that. I should be able to finish this end of a chapter. So
What are you working on right now?
finishing up the villain story. Hopefully I'll be done by April.
I feel like it's weird that I waited until the very end of the show to ask you that, but that's okay.
Ooh. Our writers with us are doing really, really good here. We've got 298 from Leora, plus research, always helpful. 878 from Herb, who's like kicking butt. Sarah with 518. Alexia with 641. Did we say hi, Alexia? I don't know if we did. Hi.
We did. Hi.
Yeah. I don't know. We're like, have I lost track of some people? I don't remember saying hi to Leora either, but
some people sneak in, and I'm going to say that Alexia snuck in. But that's okay.
Totally
we're glad you're here.
Don't you? I absolutely have those days when I just like want to watch a write-in and not participate in any way.
It's not even that for me. It's just like sometimes I pop into a write-in at like a weird moment, like what for whatever reason, like what's going on. I'm like, I don't feel like now's a good time for me to say hi. And then because of who I am, I feel really awkward about saying hi like 20 minutes later. Even though like they have no idea that I've been watching for 20 minutes. I don't know. It's just so weird. I am as good socially on YouTube as I am in real life, apparently.
So I let you rant about like the whole like rapid release and writers judging writers kind of thing before. I feel like I should at least take a minute to agree with you. Because I do. I think I don't know. The thing that so this has always really bothered me because I started in fan fiction, and it drives me absolutely batshit crazy when somebody judges like a particular, I don't know, type of writing as lower quality. Like, oh, you write fan fiction, so that's probably not very good. Like, you're probably at the like gutter level of writers. Or like if you rapid release and you indie publish, then you're probably writing pulp. Like so that means that it's okay that your stuff is just kind of sucky, and that like it's fine if you don't have an editor or if there's proofreading errors or whatever. And I mean, I do think that there are sacrifices that you make when you're trying to rapid release and when you're doing something like fan fiction. Yeah, sure. Maybe you're not like worried about making it, artistic and beautiful, but like, does it make it less valuable? Do we have to like rank it? Cause that drives me insane. Like seriously, literary stuff is sometimes like the least read of anything, and it's hard to read.
I've been stuck in so many conversations where like talking about a book that is like unreadable. And I am thinking specifically about, and it's funny because I actually do enjoy this book, but I understand where a lot of people find Infinite Jest the most unreadable thing imaginable. Because it's insane. Like there's like 20 pages about a cockroach that's sitting in the corner. Most of it doesn't make any sense. It's just like drunken rambling. But it's also like it's one of those things where the less sense that it makes, the more acclaimed it becomes.
Yeah.
Like there's this weird thing with lit fic where like if you somehow get the right base, and I guess it's just like, again, like I mentioned with visual art before, there's certainly a lot of visual art out there that like you really have to accept what the producer is telling you as being what it is, because otherwise it doesn't really look like anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I'm trying to not like be real rude about it, because like art is art, but you know, it's really hard. And like, and again, like here's another one for me going from visual. One of my favorite artists is Mondrian, and like I can create Mondrian works. Like they're not complicated. It's just a very clever design. That's the boxes. The guy that's just like all the different shaped boxes and frames. And it's modern art, but like it's not a complicated art style. It's not something, it's not like he painted a vase of sunflowers and you're like, holy shit, those look exactly like sunflowers. They're just boxes. So yeah, like there's that weird thing with lit fic that somehow we can make excuses for the fact that it doesn't make any sense. And of course, I'm not saying this about all lit fic. There's some like really incredible lit fic out there that like really does have a very tangible story to it. But there is definitely a lot of that strange stuff that there's certainly an art to it, but also it very much has that quality of like somebody just happened to think it was really good, and it was the right person to think it was really good that made this thing happen where it's universally unreadable.
Yeah, no, or
like Ulysses. Oh my God, Ulysses! What is that? And yeah, okay.
I mean, I think because there are like let's take like a book that shows up in Oprah's book club or something, right? Those probably aren't literary, right? Like for the most part, like that's more like genre, which is still considered like a level up from indie publishing, rapid release. And yet, like you read something from like an Oprah's book club, and you're like, those books are allowed to make you feel incredibly sad. Like you're supposed to like care about who the author was. Like it's valuable not because of the work, but because of like who wrote it, and that's all fine. But it doesn't. I think it's not fair then to like undervalue just stuff that we write to entertain. So wait, so like my stuff isn't good enough because it was just fun? Like,
yeah. And that's absolutely it. Like everything can be valuable in its own right. And of course, some of it is just like mass produced garbage. Like I'm not saying that doesn't exist either. There's certainly been a lot of stuff that I've seen that like, why is this happening?
You've probably seen that in fan fiction and indie rapid release stuff and literary. You know what I mean? Like there's bad stuff in every little category.
Yeah, exactly. In all categories, there's stuff that there is. Again, like I always hate trashing on modern art. Because it's like it's so weird. But like right now, I'm thinking of that banana stuck to the wall. Like, do you not know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I have no grounds to critique art. I never understand it. It's beyond me. I mean, there's a reason I write stuff that's fun and not stuff that's like mind provoking.
Right. But there's that level where like I don't understand. Like there's, like when something has a lot of skill behind it, when something is particularly well written, and this is kind of a point too. Like I have read lit fic that is very well written. I've also read trashy romance. I'm gonna cite why am I blanking on her name right now? You know her. I'm totally obsessed by her. Courtney Milan.
Yeah, her stuff's really good.
Courtney Milan. Her writing is beautiful. Like it's real quirky, but like how she tells her stories is really incredibly, like her skill is amazing at telling stories. She's just writing romance. She's writing stupid historical romance. It's hilarious and awkward and feminist at the same time. But like, so you can like, no matter what you do, there is always a skill that can be recognized if you are using that skill. But it's harder to see the skill in a banana taped to a wall than in a vase of sunflowers that looks exactly like a vase of sunflowers, but is done with paint. So that doesn't mean the skill isn't there, but it's on my level, it's hard to recognize the skill, and I appreciate skill that I can recognize.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, this is, I think, also something that we get from indie publishing, right? Like suddenly, when you look at something that you know has been released, like 1 month after another, if it's good, you're really super damn impressed, right? Like,
Yeah.
because that's hard to do, and people totally underestimate, like, Look, I love when like you're talking to somebody who's literary and like they took 5 years on their book. Like, I would love to have that privilege.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Or, like they and then it still might not make sense. So I don't know. I think it's really valuable to be able to recognize that whatever art you're doing or whatever form of it you're doing, there's like, I don't know, some levels of achievement that you can aim at. And those levels, like you could write some really damn good fan fiction. It could be really impressive. Maybe it shouldn't be judged against literary fiction, but maybe it shouldn't be judged as less than either. Anyways,
It's apples and oranges.
it's
They're
apples.
both fruit, but they're very different fruit.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, the other thing with rapid release is a publishing strategy. It's not a writing strategy.
Yeah.
Just because something is rapid release, it doesn't mean
It was
that
written.
all of these books were written and edited and like gone through the entire process and the amount of time it takes for the next book to get published. You don't know if these books that are getting released a month apart actually were written over several years. You don't know how much that author did. I certainly like seeing the numbers that other people are putting out here. I don't think any of us are really that surprised that somebody can write a rough draft in a month. And then if you're paying for the editing and all of that, then obviously with editing, like you still have to go back and do it. But if you pay somebody to edit your stuff and proofread and all of that, you really have very little work to do, or like time wise, you don't have a lot of work to do after that rough draft is done. So if you are writing 4 books in 4 months, it's not impossible to write 4 rough drafts in 4 months and then just have like an extra month of doing like what you need to from the edited drafts. And that's 4 books put out in 5 months. And that's suddenly not all that scary to do.
It's still a whole hell of a lot of work, but yeah. Okay, let's get to our final right now that we've had a chance to complain about people complaining about us.
Yeah. We meant to talk about publishing, and then we just went on one of our rapid release rants that we do occasionally. You guys enjoy hearing rants about rapid release? Tune in weekly. We don't write about this every week, but it does come out weekly.
We want fairness. We want equality.
Yeah.
That's it. All right.
Okay. And we want to write for the next 10 minutes.
Yes.
So we will see you guys at 4 of the hour.
Okay. I think that was only like a couple hundred words for me, but still.
Well, it was 10 minutes. You can't expect miracles out of 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to finish that chapter, but like I don't have a good closing line for it, but that's okay.
Gotcha.
It's still, I mean, that can come to me later. It's at the end. I'm fine. So good.
I got 223. I kind of figured out what the next scene is supposed to be, except there's literally not going to be like any dialogue in it.
That's fine.
Which is weird for me. Like, it's not a very active scene either. It's mostly a processing scene.
Oh, that is weird for you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. Like I mentioned before, I have this issue that Hazel doesn't have as strong or as like urgent of a plot line as Metal does. So now I'm like trying to bounce between the two of them and like, balance them, but there's not a whole lot going on her end. So it's weird.
I'm still looking forward to reading it.
Yeah. That wasn't it's the ending of it anyways, and my endings always kind of fall off slightly, so you're just gonna be like, well, it's rushed like usual.
Ends on a cliffhanger.
Okay, so it's gonna end on a severe cliffhanger.
The more we can, well, I'm sure we'll be talking about that for many, many months. So if you were with us, thanks for joining us. We hope you got in lots of words. We are going to be back next week, same time, 4 to 6. I'm Sandy. I write YA and romance. Our information is in the bottom, but like we think that might disappear after we go offline. So you're just gonna have to tune back in again to find out more about us. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Or if you want to read our stuff, just like reach out to us. We're here.
Yes, totally fair. But so thanks to everybody for joining us. I guess I don't have anything else today. Do you have anything else, Chloe?
I don't. Unless you want like a really weird product pitch, because I've been doing a diamond painting and I thought it was going to be the dumbest thing ever, and it is, but it's also amazing.
Oh my God, let's see it for the last 2 seconds.
Okay. So it's just like, it's probably not even going to show up right on the camera. Also, it looks real ghetto because these things do. But so I don't know if you guys have seen these things on Facebook or wherever.
No.
But you haven't? I don't know. Oh, this is the corner that I've done. You can't even tell because I don't have the. There we go. Okay. So the thing with these, and if you look from real far back, you can see that I really suck at figuring out where the camera is. There we go. It's like a waterfall thing, except you have to see it from way back because it's made from these little tiny diamonds. I keep getting these ads, and I finally caved, and I found one on Amazon that was like $8, and I was like, if it sucks, then whatever. It was only $8. And this thing might look real bad when it's done. I don't know. We'll find out. But I thought that there were a lot of problems in how this thing was going to work. I was like, this thing isn't going to work at all. Like, all of these tools that it comes with are going to suck. And it's not like, I kept figuring out all these things that were going to be problems when I got it. Like, it looks so easy in the videos. There's no way it's that easy. They literally figured out every single flipping problem that there could have been in it, and they addressed it. And like, all of the tools are super ghetto for it. The thing that you use to stick these on is literally like a plastic straw with this little cap on it. Everything is really cheap and flimsy, and it works amazingly well. And like, I filled up a huge chunk of it in 2 hours the other day, and it's the most satisfying thing ever. So yeah, and I have no idea how this is going to look when it's over, but it was $8. If it's something that like gets hung in a bathroom or a guest room or just gets thrown out, I really don't care. Because it was really fun to do. And it, like, all the things that I thought were going to be stressful, ended up not being stressful at all with it. And it's just real satisfying. So I recommend those things to everybody. If you're looking for a new quarantine project and you are already of the like puzzle sort of person or crafty sort of person, but also like don't want to actually have to think about it.
So I think that's great, and I can't talk because of that.
Yeah.
So
you looked really stressed the whole time I was talking about it, but that's okay.
That because my dog has gone nuts. I guess it's that time. All right, so get a diamond painting, I guess, and we'll see you next week.
Real ghetto looking. Definitely get one that you see a picture of the actual diamonds and not of like the original artwork that is based off of, because I feel like you're gonna have to be in the next room to be able to tell that thing is waterfalls, but that's okay.
All right, thanks for showing us that.
Yeah, I'll show you guys it when it's done and we'll reassess it. So yeah. All right.
See everybody next week.
Yeah, bye guys.
Bye.